Scentland, the land of scent.
Yes, hello and welcome. It's Chris back. Happy New Year, everybody. Scentland back with yet another fragrance review. 3rd of January, tomorrow is the first day of work, so I'm taking it easy, as you can see. I decided just to do a laid-back top 10 for you to enjoy, okay? Last year, especially the last quarter of last year, was rough. You know, I was going through a lot of difficult times, okay, including health-wise. I went through my second COVID after 3 injections, okay, having had last year, the year before actually, and I had a skin cancer operation as well, which you can actually see some traces still thereof, okay. So all at the same time. So December was fun, especially, okay. But October and November didn't trail much behind, okay? So I'm happy to welcome 2022, and I'm happy to be here and give you a laid-back, easygoing review of 10 fragrances that remind me of one of my favorite places on earth, favorite cities on earth, Paris. Paris, I love Paris. I've been there several times in the past 21 years, okay? And the last time actually 2 years ago, and so it's a very special place. And as I was looking at my collection, I thought to myself, well, actually, which are those fragrances that, you know, help me do a sort of a mind travel, you know, kind of wandering through the streets of Paris, in your fantasy again. Now at the moment we can't travel, you know, it's busy and COVID and whatever, all that shit. But fragrances do help to do this sort of travel down memory lane, and in general just to give you the feeling. So I got the 10 fragrances that remind me the most of Paris. So let's start. And there's gonna be some fragrances or some designers that actually represented twice. But the first one is Aura for Men by Giacomo. This smells, and I have it here, like a French cafe, a small street with a French cafe. You know, all the pastries, the newspapers, the cigarette smoke, and, you know, a bit of sweet smell in the air, well-dressed people, never stiff, but always very stylish. Okay, this is how it smells. Aura, Giacomo, absolutely perfect. I love this fragrance, and it really reminds me of Paris a lot, okay? Next one, more serious fragrance but utterly French, by the house of Christian Dior. Who else? Jules, okay? Jules released in 1980, I think it was. Aura was, I think, the year 2000. Jules is 20 years earlier, 1980, and this is just extremely classy, well-dressed, late 70s, early 80s, Paris, okay? Jules, an eternal classy fragrance from the house of Dior. It's a heavy, spicy, leathery fragrance, okay? I've reviewed this in Paris, back at the Père Lachaise cemetery, believe it or not, and I really love this fragrance, and I rate it very highly. One of the best releases of the house of La Maison de Christian Dior ever. Jules, absolutely, okay? And there's no particular order with these, the best or the worst or whatever. They all remind me of Paris, okay? Next one, release of 2020, I think it was. L'Homme Rochas. L'Homme Rochas, I reviewed this in Paris as well. Okay, on the Trocadero with the Eiffel Tower behind me. This is Paris. Oh my God, this is modern Paris, okay? Paris of the 21st century. Oh my goodness, a true and utterly beautiful modern fougère from the very hands of Bruno Jovanovic here, the parfumeur. Very fresh release, as I say, 2 years old, but already a classic, tremendous performance, and it has this je ne sais quoi of what it means to smell like Paris, to have the mood and vibe of Paris. L'Homme Rochas definitely has that, mostly in the evenings, I found. Another great evening fragrance from another great French house, Yves Saint Laurent, Opium for Men, 1995. I mean, this fragrance is it's just mesmerizing. The way this smells is really intoxicating. Okay, so I just love it to bits, and it's so utterly beautifully French. Okay, that it's again it's a more sort of evening fragrance, but the dressed up fragrance. So this is not casual like this. But again, if you wander around in Paris, you see all sorts of scenarios, all sorts of differently dressed people, beautiful styles, you know, this and that, the other thing. This is for the well-dressed evening scenario. Opium for Men by Monsieur Great Lake Yves Saint Laurent, Mesdames et Messieurs. Of course, let's get to a very, very prominent house and beautiful Maison, Garland. Garland Habit Rouge Sport. This I like better than the original Habit Rouge because it has a little kick that is a perfect springtime in Paris type of mood and vibe. Okay, Habit Rouge Sport. I think it's discontinued. This has been released in 2009, I believe, and it's a semi casual, well dressed, but also casual fragrance. It's very stylish. Again, the stylishness of Paris. People sitting. That's what I want to say. Not people pipping. It's different. People sitting at the Café du Flore or Le Deux Margots. Okay, places like this. They smell like this to me. Okay, in Paris, springtime, daytime. Okay, beautiful. Another one, L'Instant de Garland. I mean, Béatrice Piquet's masterpiece from 2004. Béatrice Piquet, God bless her soul. I mean, this is probably one of the along with another one that I'm going to mention, the most French of them all, okay, because it's just extremely delicate. Again, to me it's a more daytime fragrance, even professional, but also, even if you're working in Paris, you always, pop out and have a baguette, have a coffee, have a cigarette, read a newspaper, whatever. You get involved in the city no matter what, and this is how this smells. L'Instant de Garland, absolutely true. Let's check another great French Maison, okay? Chanel pour Monsieur. This is French superclass from the 50s, okay? 1955 was the release year of this one, and this is just 50s, 60s Paris, with, those beautiful young people, Brigitte Bardot, Jean-Paul Belmondo, Alain Delon, Claudia Cardinale, everybody, coming and going. I'm reading a book about Karl Lagerfeld these days, and Jacques Thébacher, and Yves Saint Laurent, Karl, and everybody, Antonio Lopez, and everybody was coming and gallivanting around Paris, and Paris was fantastic. Now, this is a little bit prior to that, okay, but very much the classy days of Paris, 50s, 60s, okay? Not yet funky, still citrusy, green, aromatic. Mwah. It gets funky with Egoiste from the same Maison, Egoiste Chanel from the year of 1999. This is one of the best fragrances ever made. It's as French as it can get, definitely in the top 3 of this selection. And it's so incredibly versatile. It can be a French businessman, it can be a French, avant-garde, hippie, whatever you want. But extremely stylish, very self-confident, very self-aware, and just a constant and utter resident of Paris, France, okay? Egoiste Chanel, I love this to bits, especially in springtime, okay, in around springtime. And there's one more Maison I want to cover, so we get to fragrance number 9, I think it is, the house of Ted Lapidus. Ted Lapidus, another famous one from France, okay, from Paris. Sport. And this is an utterly shocking fragrance because this came out in 2015, right? Yet this smells like it could have been released somewhere in the 70s, okay? It's a floral bomb. It's a soapy floral, absolute and utter masterpiece with a typical Ted Lapidus performance, okay? It's just mind-blowingly good, and it's the perfect Paris springtime smell here, okay? This smells flamboyant Paris, okay? This is flamboyant Paris, avant-garde flamboyant, okay? Again, the je ne sais quoi of flamboyant Paris, okay? This smells like a guy comes with a scarf around his neck, a bit of a jacket with some jeans, but maybe a strange hairdo or something, something strange about him, but stylish strange, okay? The je ne sais quoi. That's how he smells. Flamboyant to no end. Paris flamboyant. Lapidus pour homme sport. And the most French smelling, or Parisian smelling fragrance of them all has to be Lapidus pour homme from the year of 1987. A heavy, honey, spicy, tons of notes in there. I'm not going to start. It's mossy, it's honey, it's spicy, it's leathery, it's whatever you want. Okay, this is the entire city of Paris bottled into one single bottle. Okay, you have the metro, you have the cafes, you have the Place de la Concorde, you have the outskirts, you have the Montmartre, you have the Montparnasse and the Père Lachaise. You have everything in here. To me, this smells actually somehow the year of 1982. And Romy Schneider died that year in 1982. 40 years ago this May. And this smells like the day she died to me somehow, because there's a sadness in this fragrance. There's a tremendous classiness in this, Lapidus pour homme, but there is a sadness in there. And therefore, it smells to me like that day when Romy Schneider passed away in Paris in 1982, May 1982. Okay, this is somehow, I don't know why, but this is the connection. This is the, again, the je ne sais quoi, I don't know what about this fragrance and the particular smell of a time in my beloved city, Paris, okay? Paris. So these were the fragrances that I collected for this particular review, that in my collection, from my collection, okay? And I'm not saying these are, the 10 most Parisian smelling in the world. These are the 10 most Parisian smelling, in my opinion, in and from my collection. Okay, before you start to kick me in the buttocks for presenting you something that you may not necessarily agree with. And you know what? I like that, because it's open for discussion. What reminds you of the city of Paris? Have you been? Do you want to go to? If you haven't been, smell some of these fragrances, because they're going to give you an idea what Paris is all about, okay? So thanks very much again for your attention. Happy New Year to everybody. Love and hugs. And yeah, let's get this year started with a positive attitude, okay? By the way, I'm going boxing in January into a new boxing club, so I'm very enthusiastic about that. And I hope really much to visit Paris this year with my wife, probably the kid as well. Let's see what happens. But stay tuned for more to come. This was Chris from Scentland, the land of scent.